And with that, hello and welcome to XTV, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day, night, morning, wherever you're joining us from. If this is your first time with us here, here's a short version of what this show is. This XTV is a live look inside X Team, right? So we'll talk about how we actually hire, what the work is really like once you're in, and what happens after you just say, yes, I do. It's a conversation, not a presentation. So we've been fully remote since 2006, and we've got developers from all over the world, more than 40 countries. So a lot of what we've learned about hiring and working remotely is stuff that we just learned, by doing the hard way sometimes. And this here is where we give it all away. So I'm Mario, I'm your host today. And quick note, on where you're watching from. So we're live on YouTube right now. So if that's you, welcome. And if you're registered for this particular episode, you're in here with us in Big Marker, which means you can put your questions straight to us today. So don't sit on them. Start dropping them in as we go, and we'll get you, your answers, basically. But I'm not alone today, right? Joining me as a co-host is Caleb Brown. Caleb, where are you?
Hey there, I'm right here. Hey,
nice to see you again. Of course, I've seen you the whole day, but
whole day. But no, I'm glad to be a part of this and to have this conversation. Back in the day, I worked on the recruiting side of things, and now it's evolved into such a better, well-oiled machine. But it's cool to see that, and it's cool to be having this conversation today about hiring and the process and just kind of getting into the nitty-gritty.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you've been here for a long time. I think 12 years.
11 something, not quite 12 yet, 11 but something. Getting close, yeah.
And you've worn all types of hats in X Team, so I think you're the right person to answer a lot of questions and post them too, because you know what you'd like to get out of them, right?
I think so. Yeah.
And we do have a special guest today, who is Camila Centurion, also known as Cami C, from our recruitment team. Hey, Cami, welcome.
How are you guys?
Doing great.
Fine. How are you doing?
To see you.
I'm doing great. I mean, it was a long day of a lot of interviews. We will talk about that later. But yeah, a lot of interviews, a lot of roles going on at the moment. So I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Of course. No, thank you for accepting and talking to those who want to join X Team. And that's why this episode exists, basically, right? Applying to X Team can sometimes feel like a lot, and especially if you're not sure what's happening and on the other side of the screen, right? So you send an application, and there's silence, and you get an interview, and you're guessing at what they're really looking for. So you hear technical evaluation, and your stomach drops a little. Like, that's not something that needs to happen, and that's something that we kind of want to walk through today, through the whole thing, start to finish, and set expectations, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Cami, again, thank you for doing this. So you're of course part of the recruitment team to kickstart.
Yeah, I can give you like a little intro about me, what I do. So I've been on the recruitment team for 4.5 years. So you can guess that I've seen a lot of things going on at X Team. I mean, we had a lot of different positions, a lot of different opportunities back when blockchain was the thing. Now AI is the thing. So we faced quite a bit of different profiles along the way. And I think like within these 4 years, I've been doing recruitment for 7 years. When I joined X Team, I was actually a little baby in recruiting. So my manager took a chance of me, and here I am. But yeah, while doing interviews, I think one of the main things that people have to remember is that I'm a person, it feels a little bit scary to be in front of an interviewer and feeling a little bit judged sometimes. But like, it's not my job to fully judge you. I think it's just a matter of, at least in my experience and how I do my interviews, I try to always keep them in mind, like, you're a person, I'm a person, we're just having a conversation and trying to make the most out of it. Like, I also want you to get hired. Like, if you get hired, a role gets closed, someone gets a job. Like, it's a win-win for everyone, you know?
Collaboration, right?
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, sometimes people have experiences with recruiters where it's like they are very judgy and they bring like this tension into the interviews, and that's that's not the kind of interview that I want to do. You know, like, I don't enjoy it. I think some people do, but I don't.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So to kickstart things off here, maybe start like with what are you actually trying to find out about someone across like the whole process, right?
Yeah. Okay. So when we start a process, we are looking, like, obviously there's technical skills involved, like a lot of keywords and like the technical experience itself, but also like nowadays with AI and the amount of tools that we have to actually make the code work, it's even more important, like the communication skills, the soft skills that they bring into the table, like how they will act in a team environment, how open they are to feedback. Like, I think it's very important to not only showcase your technical skills and like focus solely on them, but also showcase that you're actually capable of being part of a team and bringing, you know, a good energy into that team, because you will be working with a lot of people. And nowadays, as I said, with AI and stuff, I think that's definitely one of the most like valuable skills, the communication and being able to communicate actually what you're doing, you know?
Yep. That totally makes sense. And I was going to say, like, you know, these are obviously almost all technical roles. So if someone doesn't, you know, maybe they do have the technical skills, but they don't make it. I was going to ask why, but I think you kind of answered that. And a lot of it comes through and maybe a lack of some of the soft skills and how
like sometimes like that's the thing. Like, sometimes you can have people make it even though they are not that strong technically. Like, we had people that were accepted when they weren't, you know, they didn't have like all the technical skills that the client needed, but they had the attitude, they had the drive to make things happen. And that's what clients are looking for. Like, obviously they would love if you have that specific AWS service that they are the only company that uses that services. But sometimes you won't find that person, and that's where that the soft skills make a difference. You know, like the kind of attitude that you bring into the table is what makes the difference between making it or not.
Absolutely makes sense. What would you say on the X Team specific side of it? What does X Team give a developer that a normal, even remote job might not?
I think like one of the key things that X Team provides is like the experience. You know, like I have this phrase, like I don't think if I don't know if I read it somewhere, if I came up with it. But I think, like, you know, like working remotely doesn't mean working isolated. And I think that's kind of like the key points of what X Team brings into the experience, because it's not just, you know, okay, we connect an engineer with a client and that's where our job ends. No, we like have a whole dedicated team to make sure that you are feeling supported, that you're feeling connected. We also have a community where you can actually connect with other X-teamers. We have online events, we have in-person events. None of this is mandatory, so FYI for everyone. Like, I think it's great to have, you know, that experience of being able to work remotely, but also that doesn't have to mean being by yourself. You always have a community to rely on and to actually be with, because it can get very boring sometimes to work from home. So it's nice to have that kind of things to rely on.
Totally.
Yeah, completely. I want to, by the way, start with some questions from chat. Basically, Juan asked if there are position. So Exim is known for senior roles, right? For developers. But do we have junior roles? And if not, or if so, what do you recommend?
Yeah, so I will be honest, we don't usually get a lot of junior roles. We get them like here and there, I would say every few months, because most of our clients come to us with like very like niche sometimes roles. So most of our roles tend to be mid-level slash senior roles. We get some junior roles here and there, but you have to be very like attentive to our website. We usually post these roles because actually like it's very interesting, but in our database we don't have a lot of junior engineers because not a lot of junior people apply. So those roles tend to get posted into our website, into our LinkedIn. So you just need to be, attentive of our social media and be aware of when it happens. You need to be the first one, because as I said, we don't get these roles. There's a lot of junior engineers looking for opportunities. So obviously, if we get 100 applications, we may not be able to go through all of them.
Right. But something that I think, right, is common with junior and senior developers and any developer or anyone looking for a job, right, is your LinkedIn profile and how to show yourself, right? So we wanted to discuss in the next few minutes like a little bit about LinkedIn and really how to optimize it. But I also want to invite if anyone wants to be part of this conversation, right, and be like, yeah, let's check out my profile. And then we can look at it live right here and give you tips on how to improve it, right? So that you have better chances of getting a role at XTV or anywhere else. Like let's make it like recruitment proof, basically, right? So let's talk about it. Starting with the very first thing, right? Where do your eyes go first when you open a profile?
I usually like the first thing I look to is like the header. Like you have like your name and then the little title behind it. I think I honestly think that's like one of the main things in a profile. Why? Because it's like, okay, if I'm looking for like a full stack engineer with Node, AWS, and React, and I go to a profile and they have that into their title, that leads me to look into their profile deeper because I know they have that experience. But if I'm looking for, as I said, a full stack Node, AWS, React, and then I go to their title and it just says mobile engineer, I'll just cancel that candidate because I know they don't work with the kind of technologies that I want. Like, I think it's very like key to have that title like as updated as possible. Like you can keep your seniority there, like senior, full stack engineer, and like your 3 main technologies. It's always nice to have that because it's like, okay, it's worth it to see a profile. Obviously, then we have like next section it's the about section. I think on the about section, you always need to keep like your main tech stack present. Like, okay, so this is the technologies that I work with. This is the kind of roles that I'm looking for. Like, let's say you are a full stack engineer, but you are more backend leaning or you are more front end leaning and you don't like, like very hands-on backend or very hands-on front end roles. You can put that into your about. That's basically where we can find that information. I think, sometimes people start talking about like their stories and, a lot of things that maybe don't have a lot to do with their technical experience. Yeah, their professional experience. And they have to, like, you have to remind yourself, like, recruiters just see profiles for like 5, 10, 15 seconds, maybe 20 if we are really, really into it. Like, it's a quick scan. We are looking for keywords because soft skills can be, seen into a LinkedIn profile. But you have to keep like the main information everywhere, and then after the about section, then we have the jobs, like the job descriptions. I think job titles are very important, but some people just keep the job titles and that's it. And I'm like, okay, so you're a backend engineer, but a backend with what? Do you work with Node? Do you work with Golang? Do you work with C#? Like, we have so many languages nowadays that it doesn't make sense to just put the title and that's it. You have to put like at least like if you want me to provide like, like the minimum that you would need to do to get, good offers, I would say job title and technical skills. The bullet points, I mean, you can add bullet points about your achievements, metrics of things that you achieved, and like explain exactly what you did. That's always great. And we love that. We love complete LinkedIn's. But if you don't have a lot of time, you don't want to work on it because, it takes time to build those.
Sure.
You can just at least put the technical skills, because those are keywords. Like, we look for profiles with keywords. If the keyword is not in your profile, there's a big chance that you won't be getting, those offers nearby.
We have a Juan here has shared his profile, so maybe we can check
Oh,
it
nice.
out and give him some tips on
Give
how
me
to
one
improve it, right?
second.
And then we'll learn directly here
Very cool. I love that.
what to do. I'll open it here, so no worries about it. In the meantime, I wanted to ask something that we get a little bit like often is that does information like GitHub move the needle? Is that something that
I mean, sometimes it can help. Like, sometimes we look for profiles in GitHub. It's actually a great tool because like people save their repositories there, and you can find great candidates there. I wouldn't say it's like key, like it's not a yes or no. I think it's always great to have them updated, mostly because I don't think in my step it makes a difference, but sometimes it makes a difference with the clients. Like when you get to that stage where they look for your profile in a more like fully on technical way, I think it's always great to have your GitHub updated so they can actually see how you code and the quality of your code. Because, you're looking for that. They want to see how you work. So if you have your GitHub updated, it's always good to have it. So I have Juan's LinkedIn here.
Nice.
So
yes,
I don't know if we can share it. Oh yeah.
I can. There it is.
There we go.
Awesome. Okay, so first of all, Juan, thank you for sharing your profile.
Yeah.
I promise I won't be too mean. I'm actually a very nice person, I promise. So I from the beginning, I would say that there's a lot of info into your header, because I think you need to maybe think about like what kind of roles you're aiming for, because you have backend, you have Android, you have data analyst, and you have web frontend. So I think you maybe need to think, okay, do I want to go more towards the backend? Do I want to go towards more of a data analyst? Do I want to be more of a mobile? Because that will help you get more offers. Because sometimes, so there's this saying in Argentina, I don't know how to translate it, but it's basically like, if you want to reach too much, you won't squeeze enough. So it's basically like there's a lot of things going on. So I would maybe, because you said that I saw in your about section that you are transitioning into data analytics. So maybe I will put backend/data analyst into your header, so you can just focus on those kind of positions. I think the technical skills are okay. Transitioning into AI, I think that could be deleted, to be honest. You can add it into your about section if you're using like any like specific AI tools. You can add them into your about section. And the ex Mercado Libre, sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. Like it's not mandatory to put that. But I think one of the key things that I saw in your profile is what I just mentioned, which is on the job experience. If you go a little bit like lower, you will see that you have two job experiences.
Oh, here. Yeah.
And all of them have the technical skills. Oh yeah, they have, this one has it, like the Mercado Libre one. So you have the technical skills there. That's it. You could add the technical skills into the SQDM role as well, so you can add more information about what you can actually do. And also, if you have like a GitHub You can also add that into your about section. So you can, people can see what you actually can do. I think those are like the main things that I would change nowadays. But yeah, I understand that you're doing a transition. So it's a little bit hard sometimes to move from like an Android role to like a data analytics role. It's quite a bit of a transition. But yeah, I would definitely make those little changes so it can go more, and maybe like talk a little bit more about your data experience, like your data preparation, what you're actually studying, what you actually can do, how you could help a certain team. So yeah, that's what I would do.
We do have a couple more of profiles, and I think it's very interesting to look at actual things. I'm gonna go to Fernando next. Fernando Costa, who shared this one, right? And right from the bat, it's in Portuguese, which is, I think it's fine. I think, well, you can change the language in the banner because it's an image, right? But down here, let me see if I can actually. Where is it that you? I believe there's a way to change the language. Mine is usually in English. I'm not sure if the profile itself is not in English, so maybe it's just Portuguese.
I don't. Yeah, it doesn't have the English because it usually appears like on the right top to change the language. So you have English. Like if you go to my profile, I believe I don't remember if mine has it.
Let's check it out. By the way, I shared
mine is just in English. Mine is just in English. But you can actually arrange your profile so it appears in two languages. You will have to do like the whole manual work. Like there's no like automatic like translation. You will have to do the whole profile in Portuguese and in English. But yeah, first of all, English profile. Like if you want to get international opportunities, you need to get an English profile in LinkedIn. Sometimes recruiters will look past it. I usually look past it, but because I kind of understand Portuguese, so I can work it out. But yeah, most of the recruiters won't look past a Portuguese profile. So
before we scroll on though, what's your suggestion for? Because Mario, you pointed out something really interesting, that the header image is like static in that in Portuguese, whereas the rest of the profile, like you said, can be multilingual and things like that. Would you suggest changing a header profile like that, or a header background?
Yeah, I mean, I will get like a regular header. I mean, or you can put like an English one for Portuguese. Like you can keep the English one in a Portuguese profile. Like it's a global language, we would say. So yeah, I would change the header to maybe an English one. Like if you want to keep that little introduction into your header, I will put it on English. Then I think like the header is okay. Like your front-end senior, the technical skills are there. The about section is actually pretty good. Like you have your whole skills and stuff. But yeah, I think the main issue with your profile is what we mentioned, like the language. Yeah, like honestly, I think you have a very good profile. I would just delete like the whole technologies into the job titles. Like you don't need to add them there.
This one?
Yeah, like you have like those ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can just keep them into the bullet points. It's not necessary to add them there, because it's also like so there's some keywords that get searched, and if sometimes like the job title has like extra words, they may not take that job title in consideration. So I would just like senior front-end developer, and that's it. Like don't add technical skills.
That's a great point, coming, because nowadays we're not just optimizing for the recruiter, but also for the search engines, right? And just general, the internal LinkedIn search engine too. Mm-hmm. So that makes a lot of sense. Overall, I think it's a very strong profile. But again,
you just have to work in your English profile.
Right.
It will take a while, but you can use AI for that. Like, don't it's not like
Yeah.
people sometimes get stuck on profiles being like too complicated, and it's like we have a whole tool that can help us with these things. Like you can ask for the translation. It doesn't have to be too much work, you know?
Right. And similar, I guess, to what we discussed about with Juan. Juan was that he's kind of showing too many, like a very broad spectrum of skills, right? And similar to that in the case of Fernando, is that so we need to be more specific. So if you're looking for an international role, then having this more specified for that role, be it like with an English banner and an English language profile, makes more sense. Make it more.
Something that I would also maybe like condense a little bit. It's the bullet points. You know, sometimes too much is too many. So if we have like no one will read the
Right.
15 bullet points, you know? Like
Yep.
just keep like the main ones. Talk about like achievements, metrics, like people like that kind of stuff, you know? Achieved a
Yeah.
50% increase in user, I don't know, happiness. I don't really know what exactly I will write, but I think it's very important to keep, you know, numbers in mind, because clients love numbers. Like
Yeah.
they love
Truly.
metrics, they love achievements, they love what you can actually do. Like for example, if you increase the user experience, if your system runs faster because you could reduce cost.
Mhm.
Reducing cost on AWS is something that a lot of clients are looking for, you know, like reducing cost in everything basically.
Yep.
So if
Yeah,
you
or
reduce
efficiency
cost,
gains.
yeah, efficiency. So if you reduce cost on anything, mention that into your LinkedIn.
Right.
Yep.
It's not always easy to get that information, especially if you already left that place. But
Yep.
just keep in mind every time
It doesn't have to be like an exact
the exact, yeah,
like no one will ask you for proof
the
of
check.
hey, you have
Right.
this 54% increase. No one will ask you for that.
Right.
You like those numbers are shown into your technical evaluations, you know, into your
Yeah.
actual interviews. The efficiency that you can achieve and the things that you can bring into the table are gonna be shown into your interviews.
Right. Let's go quickly over the last two. That's Mateus here.
Give me 1 second.
I think he has the both languages on, because his banner is in Portuguese, but the profile itself changed to
Yep.
English, so he probably has both.
In my case, it appears in English, so I think
Yeah.
well, I'm having some trouble. Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay, so first, what I will add into your header, it's the main, wait, do you do automation? Yeah, the main automation tools that you work with, 100%. Because, you know, it's nice to know them up front. Like if you're looking for, like if I'm a recruiter and I'm looking for a Selenium QA role, and you have Selenium into your header, I will go, okay, yeah, this guy knows Selenium. I can just go ahead and keep reviewing his profile. First of all, that like main thing. And on your about, you added like basically all the information that it's needed. Cheers to that. I think it's very cohesive, to be honest. And then we have the job experiences. I would definitely add a little bit more like details in your job experiences, like 2 bullet points. Like think about it like, did you only do 2 bullet points in a whole year and a half experience with your company? Like think about what you actually did, what you achieved. If you improve the process, if you help the team in any way, if you mentor someone, not something, if you mentor someone into something, like I think it's there's a lot of things that you can actually mention that sometimes people don't realize. So yeah, I would definitely add a lot more bullet points. As I said, keep it simple. 5 bullet points, 6 bullet points. It's more than okay. But yeah, I will add more information into your job experience.
But this is really good. Like decrease the time run by runtime
Yeah,
rate by 6%. Sorry, that's super good.
Very
yeah,
good.
definitely. Yeah, he should follow that kind of
Yeah.
bullet points into his recent experience. I know sometimes it's hard when you're working there and showcasing that you're kind of looking for a job. But you can keep them simple. If you don't want to show off too much, just mention what you are working on.
And something that maybe we touched on a little bit, but this is probably the right moment to do that, is that it's much easier sometimes to show hard skills, but this is also where you explain a little bit about soft skills, which are really important. You can be amazingly technical, but there, you need, if you're a team lead and you had success in that, that means that you have a certain level of social competence and leadership skills, etc., which are super important, especially if you want to progress in your career as a team lead or architect or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Like as I said, like I think one of the main differentiators nowadays it's like the soft skills. Because with AI, like there's a lot of like a backend engineer can move between languages more easily than it used to be, because it's like they don't need to learn the whole syntaxes of a new language because they already know the logic. So it's easier for engineers to move around technologies. So nowadays, it's even more important to have those soft skills. And you can showcase them as widely as you can in an interview, but you can mention those things into your about section. Like if you led some teams, if you manage something, if you were, like a key point of your team that people could rely on for certain projects, you can mention that into your about section.
Right.
Yep. And depending on what level of role they had on the technical side, it's very possible that they were dealing with different departments, different stakeholders in different areas. So I always liked that when I could see that they were working with like non-technical teams. Again, it can be sometimes hard depending on your previous role, how to show that. But yeah,
definitely yes. Like I had several roles where it's like they needed an engineer that worked with the HR team and to make integrations for or with the HR team or the finance team or whatever. And it's like you will be needing to meet up with different stakeholders, and those stakeholders don't know anything about technical stuff.
That's right.
So you need to be able to bring that stuff down to earth so they can actually understand what kind of implementation you want to achieve. And that's a skill. And I think it's important to highlight this. Like soft skills can be trained, because sometimes people are like, "Oh no, I'm not social. I am like I'm shy. I won't be able to talk in front of a lot of people, of leading or whatever." And it's like those skills are trained. Like you don't. There's some people that are born with not being shy and stuff, but you can train those skills. Like
completely.
And doing interviews is also a skill, and it's a skill that can be trained as well. It's not
Very
easy.
fair.
So I think it's just a matter of not getting stuck into, I'm this way and that's it. No, like you are a certain way and you can practice and practice and practice and reach different levels, more or less, but you can actually train all of this.
Now, to kill two birds with one stone, we're gonna jump to the next one, who is Founder Cole, who's an XX teamer actually, and and he also wants us to see the his profile, but also he asked if X teamers can come back to X team, how they can do that, right? So that's one question. But the other thing, Cami, that I want to know specifically from you is about the open to work badge, right? Because why I'm asking is because there's I've seen that there is kind of a controversial point with recruiters. There's very opposite like the opinions on it, and I wanted to know: are you pro or con?
I'm 100% pro. I love the open to work badge. Like, I mean, what's better than going to someone's LinkedIn and knowing that they are looking for a job for me? Like, I'm looking for a candidate and they are looking for a job. It's a match made in heaven, you know? So why would I be against it? Like, I understand, like, like, I don't understand why people are against it, honestly. Like, the, there's like a downside of it that you may get like a lot of messages sometimes when you put those badges. But for me, like, I think it makes our jobs easier, to be honest. So I would keep it.
Yeah,
Like,
again, it's a controversial topic, so there's no right or wrong. It's just there's pros and cons for both. So yeah, that's cool.
yeah.
So let's check out Fanner's profile. Right, we have senior software engineer.
I'm on it. Okay, so Fanner, I think you're on the right track. To be honest, love the picture into your header.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah, let me go over your about section real quick. Something that maybe you are not mentioning, like just seeing it. I don't know. Let me do a quick. You're not mentioning your cloud experience into your about section. You could mention that if you have like heavy cloud experience, because everyone works with cloud nowadays. You mention it on your in the bullet points into your brain trust experience, but like you can always mention it a little bit more. Like the more keywords, the better, if you think about it. And yeah, that's something that I would add into your about section because you actually have that experience. I believe you also didn't mention about your Terraform, Docker, Kubernetes experience as well. Like you mentioned just the main technical skills. Yeah, I think honestly, like overall, it's pretty complete. I would definitely add like, if you remember also, because I know sometimes people don't remember like the technical stuff that they work with, like because it's so specific. But like try to mention like every tech that you work with, because sometimes it's like we are looking for like niche positions, and I don't know, as I said, they need this AWS specific service that you are the only person that mentions it into your LinkedIn, and that makes you like a strong contender for that role. So if you remember everything that you work with, you should mention it. Like it's always better to mention every technical stuff that you remember. I know it's not easy, but yeah, I would add a lot more info. Like as I said, if you remember more info into your stack, because it's pretty, like in vertical you have like those 4 technologies: Nest, React, TypeScript, Go. You could mention a little bit more if you remember, but I will go with that. The bullet points are pretty good. As I said to the I think it was Juan, metrics also, like achievements are always great. As I said, clients love numbers, so I would definitely mention some numbers if you remember some of them. Maybe like I remember a candidate that had like achieved an MVP in 2 months, like with a 2-person team, something like that. Like those are achievements, like being able to work efficiently in such short time is an achievement for itself. So I think overall, like I said, I think your profile is pretty complete. I would just add a little bit more information into your technical skills, like keywords, because you probably worked, like you have a lot of years of experience. So you probably worked with a lot of technologies and a lot of little things. So make sure that you remember all of them. That's what I would do.
Awesome. So before we move on to the applying and recruiter communication segment, I wanted to plug in a question from Pablo Salazar, who is here with us in Big Marker. Hey, Pablo. And he asks, if someone on LinkedIn has a portfolio, do recruiters actually take the time to review it, or should he use his time somewhere else?
sometimes depending on the role. I mean, as I said, like you have to keep in mind that some recruiters are more technical than others. So some recruiters may be able to understand like GitHubs and portfolios and stuff, and some recruiters may not. And also, it will also depend on what the client is looking for. Like if they are looking for someone that is very like, if we're looking for a front-end engineer that is very like this design oriented, then we need a portfolio, and we need a portfolio that it's full of their work. But if you're looking for a front-end engineer that it's not as design oriented as some front-end engineers can be, then the portfolio may not be necessary. So it depends. That's my answer.
Yeah. And I want to jump in there as from my recruiting days. I mean, I feel the same way, is that I always liked to see a portfolio. I do have a technical background, and so it was nice to see a portfolio, to see a GitHub. But you're absolutely right. Usually, actually, what I was most excited to see is if it was a front end role or something like that, then I can visually see work they've done recently, as well as making sure that it seems like the candidate will align with the partner or the client. Because, you know, some partners are a little more startup-y, a little more, you know, and some are more on the sort of rigid side. And I think a portfolio was really helpful for me to see like what they worked on, sometimes even in their free time, and get an idea of who they are, and some of those soft skills can come out through the portfolio itself. So I always like to see it personally.
Yeah, definitely, because it's also a way of seeing if they are aligned with what the client is looking for. Like sometimes you may need, like I actually had a role that was like, you know, like fresh vibes. that was the job description, fresh vibes. Like they didn't want like they wanted something like very fresh, very modern, like that kind of design, not, you know, and we had to look for fresh vibes. And that's the keywords. They like, obviously you don't search for fresh vibes as a keyword.
Right.
To find that sentiment into their portfolios. So yeah, sometimes we look for the portfolios. And Fanner asked if we look at the candidates' websites. And as it depends, as I said, like sometimes if a LinkedIn is not, you know, as complete as it could be, and we have a website, I look at their website. Like if I see that I have all the information onto their LinkedIn, the information that I need at least to do a first reach out, I will just stay with the LinkedIns. But yeah, it will depend on the amount of information that I get from the other sources as well.
Yeah, makes sense. So as Mario mentioned before, I don't think we have any more profiles at the moment to review. So kind of continuing on, we did want to talk about kind of applying in general and kind of the comms between the recruiter. And I thought it'd be a good thing. You know, we've already talked a little bit about job descriptions out there that we've put, but where do roles get posted for X Team? Where should people be looking? And, you know, what's kind of just a good general route in? Do our referrals the end all be all? Should they just check out the X Team website? What's the best strategy there?
Yeah, so roles get posted into our website, and we also post them in LinkedIn. So you will be able to find them into our like XTeam site in LinkedIn, but also into our jobs website, into our like actual website. The link is jobs.xteam.com. That's literally the link. And yeah, you will apply there. You will get contacted in the next few hours. Obviously, it depends on how in which hour you apply. Like if you apply at 2 a.m., you may not get an answer in the next hour or so. But we usually try to, you know, reach out as soon as possible. Sometimes it may happen that you may not get a reach out because maybe the role is on hold or something is going on behind the scenes. But just so you know, like the first place that we go to when we have a role is like I literally check my applications every day. So those are the first people that I reach out to. I usually send a message explaining like a little bit of the job and what I'm looking for. I usually ask some questions. Obviously, it depends on each recruiter, but like if you want to, reply to these people, like to me or my teammates, you can just send us your updated resume, your availability, and your rate. Like that's the basics of an answer, I think. And yeah, after that, you will get a call with me or with one of my teammates, and you will see my beautiful face, and maybe we'll hit it up. We'll have a nice. But yeah, that's how it works.
That's awesome. That's perfect. And then what about? There's kind of a delicate balance, I suppose you would say, between keeping that line of communication open and being proactive, but not wanting to feel like you're being sort of annoying to the recruiter. What's the right amount to kind of reach out and follow up and keep that conversation going?
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind getting reached out every day, because I also understand that it's people are excited, they want to join X team, and they need a job, there's bills to pay at the end of the month. Really? So I completely understand if someone reaches out to me every day or so. But if you see that we are not reaching out, it's not because we don't want to. Sometimes it's because we don't have anything to say. Sometimes clients go missing and they take weeks to get back to us. So it's nothing personal, which is, I mean, in my opinion, it's it doesn't make sense for me to spam you every 2-3 days with, I don't have any updates. So I'd rather just go silent and reach out whenever, I have some updates from the client. But if you want to ask because you're anxious, you want to see if something's going on, or maybe you think that I forgot about you, which usually doesn't happen, but it can happen. I'm a person. I'm not an AI yet. So if you want to reach out every 3-4 days, every week, that's fine. I think that's kind of the line, the usual. I think every week or every 4 or 5 days should be fine. It's not annoying. I don't mind, honestly, but every 4 or 5 days should be fine.
Awesome. That's helpful.
Yeah.
I know we wanted to talk more about all kinds of stuff, the technical interview. We have about 10 minutes left here. Yeah. Where do you want to take things, Mario?
I think that we'll shorten it and maybe talk about the technical interview, since that might be one that is more in people's minds. And then just general kind of time frame questions. But before that, let's take a look at some general tips when you prepare for an application, especially here on vaccine.
Welcome to Resume Bistro. Here we serve the best tech ingredients to make your profile stand out. Do you have a reservation for success? Right this way. Let's start with today's appetizers. A clean and scannable resume, just like any other dish, should look inviting at first glance. Keep it under 2 pages. Use a clean and readable font, bullet points, and consistent formatting. Recruiters only spend 6 to 10 seconds scanning a resume, so make sure you make your profile stand out. Now for the main course, the real substance. It's not just about showing effort, but the real impact. Use this recipe. Action verb plus what you did, why it mattered, and the tech stack used. For example, instead of saying managed cloud infrastructure, say deployed and optimized AWS infrastructure using Terraform and CloudWatch, reducing monthly cloud spend to 25%. See the difference? Want to spice it up? Add data. Numbers are credibility on a plate. Instead of saying improved system performance, try instead improved API response time by 40% through query optimization and caching strategies. And of course, every great meal comes with the side. Let's not forget your tech stack. For example, main stack, AWS, Node.js, React, PostgreSQL, GraphQL, Docker, and Terraform. List your tools up front. Give recruiters a cheat sheet on your tools right away. Every guest is different, so customize your plate. Make sure to highlight the tools and experience that best fit that role you're applying for. Tailor it to the job. Highlight my team project, tools, and impact. This will make it crystal clear that you're exactly what they're looking for. And finally, dessert. Let's sweeten up your LinkedIn. Make sure to use a friendly and professional photo. Use a specific headline to stand out. In your About section, talk in first person and tell you a little bit about your experience and who you are. In your experience, make sure to use high-impact bullet points just like we did on your resume. Make sure to include your keywords like TypeScript and AWS so recruiters can find you in their searches. And last but not least, set your profile in English to enhance your chances of being found. Most recruiters won't wait for you to apply. They search, so make sure they can find you. And here's your check. Bon appetit. Now go land your dream job.
Do we have audio?
Okay, now I'll repeat what I just said, which is hot tips from Agu, who's from the recruitment team. If you want to check out the video once more, then please, I linked the link in the chat, so you can check it out once again and go step by step through the options, right? So beautiful. Yes. So again, we do have a lot of topics to cover, but we just have 7 minutes. So I want to invite everyone who is here, who knows someone who wants to apply. We do have XTV about once a month. So we do review these topics, and the most important thing is kind of helping you get the role that you want, because that helps us too. We want you to be part of X team. So the better your chances, the better our chances to find the right person, right? So keep coming back to XTV. And also I want to invite you guys to our Discord, where we have a more open channel to have, you know, a faster dialogue, I guess. And I'm gonna link our Discord server right here in the chat, so you can join us. And there's not a lot going on right now, I'm gonna be completely honest. But if you go there, and there's a main channel, and there's one with just general questions, ask. People are not asking, but feel free to ask for a review of your profile or tips of how to improve your chances individually tailored for you. That's something we offer. Take advantage of it if you can and if you want to. But yes, coming?
No. I didn't want to say anything.
Okay, cool. So I'll just go quickly. Maybe let's just talk about the timeframes in the waiting. I think that's something that.
I think sometimes we expect like processes to be super fast and stuff, and we have to remind ourselves like there's a client on the other side, and they have to make their time to make the interviews and stuff. So our processes can take, like, if a client is very like in an urgency, it may take 2 weeks, but then it will also may take a month or 5 weeks. Like I would say our average, it's more on the near a month, 3 weeks, a month kind of time frame.
That's for the entire process?
The entire process, like screening call, technical interview, and then 2 interviews with the client and the offer. That's what it takes. So yeah, I mean, if it's not happening quick, as I said, you can always message your recruiter. And if it doesn't happen, like you fail your process, you can always reapply as well. Like this is something that I want to highlight, because sometimes people feel like if they failed, they can't come back or reapply again into X team. And it's like, this is how it works. Like we get a role and we will look into X teamers, and then we will look into people that were already in process with us. So if you were already in process with us, you have a higher chance of getting reconnected with another client. So keep applying. We are always, looking for engineers for every kind of role. And we love to, bring people that were in process with us in the past. Like it makes the job easier also for us, for you. We will make you repeat the process. So it's a win-win situation for all of us.
Mm-hmm. And can everyone expect a reply, an answer, even if it's a negative one?
Yeah, we actually have an automation for applicants. So if you get rejected, you will get an automation and like a no automation. And for the technical assessments, you also get a rejection email. In the rejection email, you won't get like the reason why. But if you want to get a reason why, sometimes like I usually send the rejections reasons, like if it's not just not a fit, like you did a technical assessment and I have actual feedback to provide, I will reach out and set that feedback because I think it's, continuous improvement. I think it helps them and it will also help us in the future. But if you get a rejection and you want to know why, you can always reach out to the recruiter as well.
Good. And then maybe connected to that, can people who have received a no reapply?
Yeah.
And what should they do differently, if anything?
Yeah, I think it depends on why you were rejected. Sometimes you were rejected because you lacked like a certain specific technical skill the client was looking for, or sometimes you get rejected because of years of experience. So I honestly think like you just have to keep applying until the right role appears for you. Because sometimes it's not about you or about the role. It's just not made to be. I don't want to be cliche or anything like that, but I think it's important to understand that it's nothing personal. Like sometimes the role is not a right fit for you, and it's not you not being the right fit. Like the role is looking for something that you don't actually do, and that's fine. Like it's just a matter of waiting and finding the right opportunity for the right person.
So there's like a not right now might mean literally 100%. Not right now.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Like I had candidates that were in process. Like I had candidates that were in process with me like years ago, and I know we have a candidate that actually we had in process with. I don't even know how many clients we had him in process with, and we finally got him into X Team after years. Like it was just kind of like a lucky card. We were always sending him to a lot of roles, and it finally happened. But I think he went through at least 10 processes. Like I'm not joking. Like and he did it. He made it. So I think that's we can finish the call with a message of hope, which is it will happen when it needs to happen. That's the key point.
And it goes well with our motto, which is keep moving forward, right? We keep on looking to improve and get better every day. I think those are magnificent work to end this session with. I want to thank Cami so much for your time and all of those tips. Caleb, always an amazing co-host. And everyone joining today, I hope you got something that is useful for you, your career, and hopefully for you to become next teamer so that we can share some time in this amazing community. Thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you on the next one, which is in I believe it's September, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll let you know.
September 19 or something like that, if I remember.
Yes.
So thank you guys. Thank you guys for the invitation, and thank you everyone for participating. It was great to see your LinkedIns. You can find me on LinkedIn as well. Just send me a connection. I promise I'll step at you. It may take me a few days to do so, but I'll do it. I promise I'll do it.
I'll share the LinkedIn.
Yep. There we go.
Links once more. And that's about it. Thanks so much. See you on the other side. Bye-bye.
See you, everyone. Bye.